We'd quite like to restore a classic split-screen or bay-windowed Volkswagen bus, but there's a problem.
The older ones, they're sought after. I think they're great, but they're mega money, aren't they?
Some of the early Samba models have sold for nearly 100 grand, so we're eyeing up something a tad cheaper. This one's still a Volkswagen, but a 1991 T3, or as they're known in the UK, a T25. It's only done 64,000 miles.
I reckon it'd be all right for you. Decent mat in there, rather than the old off-cut from the living room carpet. Little bit of paintwork here and there. There's not loads to do, is there? Microwave. Oh, you're away, aren't you? Hey? Oh, carsy in there, look. Cracked it, haven't you?
It's also got a fridge, a gas hob, and the seats fold down into a cosy double.
We find, as a rule, somewhere around about the 8K mark buys you a good one.
That's more like it. We're sending our latter-day love bus to some true van life enthusiasts. Dave and Chloe Gaunt specialise in restoring V-dub campers from all eras.
We love campers. It's your transportation, it can get you there, and then there's no pitching your tent up when you're there and arguing with each other. You just rock up, you know, and that view, it could be mountains, it could be the beach.
I think since having kids as well, they just love it. It's like a playhouse on wheels. I think it's a really nice sort of family life to have.
Joining Dave today for the arrival of our recent purchase is mechanic Gareth Dunn.
Like an expectant father waiting for the baby to arrive. It looks better than most of what pulls up here. Paint doesn't tell you much, does it? But
it looks solid from the outside.
Billy Ruffian, got a good name.
They're keen to check out the engine, which of course is hidden in the boot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I believe it's a 1.9 DG. It's the most common engine.
It's petrol-driven and water-cooled.
They're good when they're running, but they just have an inherent problem here with the studs sitting in the water jacket. And if over the years, if people use cheap coolant, these rust away, and basically the engine comes apart, and that's when they need a rebuild. 5 grand, something like that. But this looks like it's been well looked after.
We've seen a lot worse.
That said, the engine doesn't actually work at the moment. And that's not the only concern.
Oh, hang on.
The windscreen's going to have to come out to treat this. There could be a little bit of welding. See the water coming out there?
It's the same round the back too.
You can see the way it's lifted the seal up here.
The rain gutters are retaining a lot of water.
Filled them with sealant,
yeah,
which is a bit worrying.
There's some bits of bubbling rust.
Crunchy bits. Needs attention.
But it's not all bad.
Ooh, that's smooth.
Do you like that, Dave?
That's a nice door as well. And that gap line is very good, actually.
So far, fair to middling for a 35-year-old van. Time to find out what lurks beneath.
Yeah, sills are nice and solid.
What about brake lines? Absolutely fine.
We've got some sort of coolant leak. You can see this is all wet. Something needs looking at here.
This is a solid van. Pulls under. Oh, you just come through?
It's a solid van. I'm afraid the screwdriver of truth has gone whoop into here. It might not be too bad. We see vans which are holes all over. So one little tiny hole in your battery tray. So you should see that as a good thing.
Of course, without somewhere to sleep, this camper van is just a van. So Chloe has arrived to make sure it fulfills its minimum requirement.
The rock and roll bed.
Yep. Oh, you did it. There you go.
This should come out and fold flat to match this, and then that makes your bed.
So at the moment, it's not a bed?
It's not a bed, no. And this looks a little bit, yeah, it might not take the weight. here we go, hold on. If you're camping and you want to sleep straight away, you don't want to be doing that.
There we go.
Yeah.
I take it that doesn't work quite correctly.
No.
It looked a bit more
You
difficult
just
than it
made
is.
it look difficult, did you?
Clearly a few things to attend to.
I think the curtains need changing.
Covers are all right. Keep those and just replace the foam.
But hopefully, fun times ahead.
She's going up on her own. Woof! That will be your secondary bedroom up there. Sun's coming out now, so some blue sky up here, so we need to get on with it so you can get camping.
Because the engine is in the back, cooling it to prevent overheating is a bit more tricky, especially when the system is leaking. It's Gareth's first job.
We're going to empty all the coolant out, inspect the condition of some of the hoses and connections on the cooling system, and then basically refill it with fresh coolant.
The old stuff looks like it's been in there a while.
Probably 10, 20 plus years. This is where the expletives will start.
Not a lot of room to work in here.
No, never is. Remove this spring clip, and then there we go.
18 litres of fluid exits the vehicle. Some of it ends up in the bucket.
Makes you want to go to the loo, doesn't it? We're going to take this rubber hose off, and we'll see what condition the metal end is in here. 2 on the pipes here and 2 at the front.
They're amongst the most important components on the vehicle.
Right, yeah, so the end of this has gone. So this has compromised this pipe. You see there, that's the remains of the metal insert. And stuck in our pipe up here, you can see the part of it there is fractured off. Yeah. The impact, if this comes away and you lose all your coolant, there's a risk of then destroying your engine.
All the plastic pipes will be replaced with stainless steel. While we wait for those to arrive, there's another important issue to address in the cabin.
You need to be able to demist your window, and you need to be able to stay warm to survive.
Currently, the blower motor is kaput,
Nothing.
and that's a pain.
Problem is, it's buried under the dash in a big box which is glued together. It's not much fun, to be honest. So I don't want to break it. Hey! There we go. Looks new, doesn't it? Motor's in there. That's off. Oop. I'm clear, I'm all clear on my side.
A quick snap as a reminder of the wiring,
Yeah, I'll take it.
and the dash is out. Now well past tea time, you'd think that was it. But Volkswagen don't do things by halves.
The motor's in there. We've just got to get to it.
It's going to be a late night for Dave. Back in York, there's now a large hole in our VW camper's dash. And that's good news.
Just decided to set the airbox out. The blower motor was seized, which is what we thought. So, Gareth's already taken it out for us. If all our customers are wondering what happens to their old knackered parts, they're at Gareth's house.
So do I need to go and have a look around now, Gareth, and see what else might have disappeared?
Just trying to think. No, I've not had anything else off it.
So the motor goes here. There's your little heater matrix, which is like a little radiator. And here we are. Ta-da! Brand new motor, yeah. Gareth got the other one unseized, but the amount of effort it takes to get in there, you might as well, you know, it's 30 quid, so you might as well change it. And then we know you're good for 10 years and not 10 months, you know.
Today, various bits are destined for the body shop.
You got that? Yeah. It'll get primed, and then I believe it's getting colour-coded to match the van.
The 90s black plastic is not really doing it for people anymore.
Dave doesn't like silver plastic either. So it looks like the wheels will change too.
I've got to take the windscreen and the rear window out today because there's some rust around the frames. Classic vehicles have rubber seals around the window frame. Modern vehicles are bonded in, so you don't really get that trapped water or water ingress that you can get when the seal hardens over time. It's going.
There you go, easy peasy. Don't be shy. That's what we do in management here, when they irritate us too much. There you go. There we go.
Ta-da! And we have a hole.
And it's not the only one. The screwdriver's telling us there could be a bit more welding than we first thought. In preparation for Chloe to start on the interior, somebody's nana's old carpet is being replaced by Ollie.
It can be a little bit fiddly with glue on glue, so you kind of get one good chance to get a first go at it, but it's not a fairly basic job.
And next door, Matt is sanding the bumpers before their increasingly controversial colour change.
From my experience from selling T25s, I think it will make it more appealing. It'll be nicer on the eye.
I wouldn't do it. I like the black bumpers against the white body personally. It makes it look like a 90s van. Well, it is a 90s van.
Gareth would not touch the van. We wouldn't get any money if it was up to him. He'd just leave everything as it was.
We're happy to change them, but Gareth's is definitely the cheaper option. After 8 weeks in the resource bay, Billy, as our camper van is now known round here, seems to be responding to treatment.
We've only been working on Billy intermittently, far from a full-time job. Done 2 main jobs on her. Firstly, we put the new heater blower motor in. 1, that's low, medium, high. So that's all good. And when the engine's hot and hot coolant's coming up to this heater matrix, that's where you get your hot air out the heater motor. So that's all good. The second other major job that we've done is to put the new coolant pipes in, then filled it up with proper coolant, so the van can be driven again now. Check engines in neutral. That's actually the dash cluster. I just plugged it in so I can see that I'm getting oil pressure and everything, but I wouldn't normally drive it with it hanging around my knees like that. Nice smooth idle. There you go.
As Gareth starts a routine but thorough service, there's activity in a less oily corner of the business. Chloe is starting work on the soft furnishings.
Plan for today is recreating the old cushion, except it's going to be in this lovely red fabric here. And then we're going to use a cream piping instead of this piping here, which you see. What we're going to do as well is put a fluting in, so you can see it on this one. The old one, it's a bit flat, and in the new one, all these lines where I've drawn out here, these will all be top stitch.
Which will also add strength to the upholstery. A tip from Chloe's student days.
Yeah, I've got a degree in fashion, so that's how I ended up sewing.
How many car seats do you reckon you've done in your time?
Oh, do you know what? I've lost count now. I'd say maybe we'll get into the hundreds now, so.
In the workshop, Matt is dealing with the window surrounds, having found new replacements online.
So what we've done is we've cleaned up all the window frame, taken all the paint back to bare metal. We've cut out where the rot was, and then what we're going to do is measure up the pieces, get it to all fit nicely and weld them in. All the restoration parts we get never fit exactly into where you want them to go.
People often come to us with like a brand new transporter. They don't have anything in them at all, so we're kitting them out of the whole thing. Full seats, rock and roll bed, boarding out and interior. This is called scrim foam. I'm using 12mm one today. The thicker it is, the more padding you get with the fluting. Some people like to use a whole Pinterest board of ideas and stuff. You could have anything. You could have gone a bit crazy if you wanted. But I think because it's a restoration, you want to stick closer to the classic colours, the classic design. So yeah, I think you've chosen well.
Just need to get that lovely cream pastel white paint back on and start getting it back together. Adam will be doing the painting. He's our professional body technician.
Probably 2 coats of primer, followed by 2 to 3 coats of 2K paint, which is a paint mixed with a hardener, sometimes called 2-pack. It's often used on classic vehicles, so there's no clear coat to spray afterwards like you'd have with a modern metallic. There wasn't really a need for a full respray unless you're wanting to spend the money. There's only certain areas of corrosion. The rest of the paint was pretty good, so we're just repairing what's there and blending it all in, give it a polish, and hopefully it'll look like new.
A couple of days later, our van was back in the workshop. The respray, seamless. And other jobs are getting done too.
We've repaired the box at the back. It was just falling apart. So it's quite important in a T25 because it's actually your bed platform as well as storage, so without it, you're going to have an uncomfortable night's sleep. We've got that red theme going on. We've got the red roof canvas, the red curtains, and now the nice new red mats that we've had made as well. Got the dash back in, which is obviously a big job. And we've got a new 12-volt socket in. The radio works now with the new aerial, and then you can send your music to it on Bluetooth. Nicely painted bumpers. Most people tend to colour code these now. It'll just give it a much cleaner and fresher look. This is the front diffuser. You know, aerodynamics are very important on a vehicle that does 60 miles an hour. Lovely restored wheels. These have been shot blasted. Moon caps.
We're nearly there. Chloe's skillfully reupholstered seats have returned, but the next step might not be straightforward.
Yeah, try and work out how they go back in that overcomplicated 30-year-old bed system, so.
On tap for this bit, Joiner Lee.
See how good Dave is with the tape measure?
This has got the little locky things which go onto them.
Is that sitting on the bedboard?
No, you've got your own little ledge here that it sits on.
Because we replaced the boards, we've lost the screw locations where the bracketry went and what have you. So once the bed looks fine, then we'll put temporary tacks in, make sure it works, then we'll just final fix it.
To make sure the fluting all lines up, otherwise we get slapped by Chloe. All the ones we fit today are sort of a self-contained unit, whereas this was done probably at the time of the conversion, you know, in their way. Yes, it's not that bad now, we've worked it out.
It's looking really good. Interior-wise, I think we've done a good job at sort of modernising it without changing too much. It still looks classic as well, so yeah, I think I'm pleased with that aspect of it.
So we've not gone over the top. We could quite easily repainted the whole thing, done a whole new interior, but for this build, the whole purpose is to take it back to auction and try and preserve its character.
But with one small change.
Beautiful.
So how much did it all cost? Including tax and commission, it was £11,772 to buy. Parts were £1,729, and labour was £6,720, bringing the total to £22,221. Our Bangers bus has had a restful night, camped outside the showroom, and is now ready for its morning inspection.
Dave, it's warm enough for a holiday, isn't it?
It is. I don't mind a camper van, and I think if you're going to buy a VW, that's the model I would buy. When you come out and see one of those earlier models, they're just littered with faults. But if it's the later model, they just seem to be less problematic. But why have white wheels? It should have at least been the same colour as the van. But once you open the door and look in, first impressions in here, it's lovely.
And it's even got new curtains. It's all got new upholstery.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine yourself on the Côte d'Azur, the Costa del Plenty, Dave.
Yeah, Bridlington Bay, you mean, really, but yeah, OK. No, I like it. I genuinely like it. And you know me, if I don't like it, I'll tell you. Yeah.
So you are actually sat on the toilet, Dave?
There's been times I could have done with it driving along.
Seats, nice new.
Yeah, lovely.
All new upholstery.
Yeah.
Seats done.
Goodness. Oh. Oh, fab.
That's the West Wing up there.
Yeah. Honestly, I genuinely like it. Yeah. What a really nice, usable camper van. Weekend away. Perfect, isn't it?